Hey guys, it's Hubbard on my way back home from orientation. So I'll be posting the video on the trip out and the video of the trip back home all at the same time this weekend for you guys. But just sitting here riding, and as usual, bored to death, so I'm going to turn the radio off and give you an update on how orientation went. Driving in the rain here, so put up with me if I stop talking to pay attention to something a little bit deeper. Orientation went very well. Surprisingly well. I guess my expectations were less than they should have been, based on the fact that how I was dealt with one of the other companies. I'm not going to mention names because I don't want to burn bridges. But the first company I dealt with, response was very unorganized, very unprofessional, very unresponsive, and miscommunication and problems. So came up here, and there were probably 20 people in orientation. They've got two sides of the business. One side does drive away, and the other side does tow and haul, I think is how they put it. But it's guys and folks that have their own trucks, pickup trucks, big dually pickup trucks, and they deliver anything from campers to boat trailers to cars, anything you put in a car hauler, or a double-decker open trailer, I guess. But those were the two sides, and we were all in the orientation together, so it went well. As you've heard me say before, I look at everything and when I get done with a stage, if I feel better about it than I did going into it, then that's a positive and a reason to keep moving in this direction. I'm very pleased with this company and what they've said up till now, what they've done, and what they're presenting, and the opportunity. And it's not rocket science. The dispatch process is for them right now is to call in and see what loads are available and pick and choose your loads. The important thing for me, of course, is to balance that family time and home time with the ability to make money. So with doing that, there's different aspects of making money here. You got to think about it more from your own business standpoint, and your costs and your expenses, and how you get from point A to point B, and from point B to point M, if you will. So it's a matter of planning better, or planning differently than you do as just a regular truck driver, because you're the one dispatching yourself in reality, and you have your money on the line, more than just your income money, but expense money. So, to give you an example, if I took a load out, if I go home and Monday I turn around and take a dispatch, and let's say that I'm taking a Volvo truck, and I've got a choice of taking a Volvo truck on a 300-mile run, or I've got a choice of making and coming straight home off that 300-mile run, and I've got a car that I can pull behind, or I don't. If I don't have my own car to pull behind, I have to find public transportation, or I have to get a rental car to get back home. So now I'm cutting into my profit. well, let's say I take a Volvo that has to go 1,000 miles. So it's an overnighter. If I go stay in a hotel, that's going to cut into my profit. If I don't have a tow behind, I've got to get from point A to point B. Point B might be another location, pick up another truck to head somewhere else. Point B might be back home. Either way, I've got to find transportation to that location before I can go anywhere else. So for me, the logistics of doing that, I've got to run some numbers, but I don't think, you know, for a long-term prospect, you can make much money doing that. However, I do think you can make some good money if you've got a tow-behind vehicle, because you eliminate not only a lot of your headaches in terms of figuring these logistics out, but you cut way down on your cost. With the tow-behind, making the shorter day trips makes that easier because you don't have to worry about where you stay. And a lot of these folks, I'll tell you, they'll sleep in the truck. You know, and I'm not talking about in a sleeper. Most of these trucks are day cab type trucks, so they don't have sleepers. You know, they'll sleep in the truck or sleep in their car, you know, to save money instead of going into a hotel room. Now, I'm sorry, I ain't gonna do a whole lot of that. My back, my old body would be aching pretty bad. Even if it wasn't cold out, I'd be hurting. Y'all excuse me sniffling and coughing, I'm still sick. Excuse me. So, you know, that's not for me either. I'm not, you know, I'd just soon sleep in the back of my own truck at G&P as I would spend a week gone and spend it, you know, in the driver's seat of a day cab truck or in the reclined seat of my car, my tow-behind vehicle. Just, you know, no. You know, occasionally, yeah, when you have to, maybe, but on a regular basis, no. But the point being is, on these long runs, if you're staying in hotel rooms every night, you're eating up your profit. So that's where I'm thinking at this point, and I may be wrong after I run some numbers and look at it and learn a little bit more. But running the shorter runs where I can be back home and having the tow vehicle gives me the least expense going out with balance that with the income that I would be getting, I think. So part of that is because the tax write-off you get with the your own tow vehicle, your mileage and so forth. So that's what I'm thinking at this point. That's what I'm thinking. But it could be wrong. I'm running parallel with the Ohio River, running in rain the whole day. Right now I'm on Highway 35, about 14 miles going east. Just recently got into West Virginia out of Ohio. Heading east, I got about 14 more miles before I get to 64, and 64 is going to take me into Charleston, West Virginia. But I just looked over and saw the big Ohio River that I'm running parallel with. Anyway, forgot where I was. That's what I'm thinking in terms of the logistics and the money and the direction I want to go with this to be as efficient and from an expense standpoint and as profitable as I can be doing this. So, and at the same time, of course, balancing the life. So, but it looks good so far. The company looks good. Folks were very nice, very friendly, very helpful, very respectful, yada, 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 all those good things. Very pleased with the outcome of orientation and very happy with the fact that I'm going home right now and I've got the ability to get my ducks in a row and call them when I'm ready to roll. So getting those ducks in a row means me getting home and getting a vehicle.
Speed limit reduced ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
Warning, sharp curve ahead.
Yes, ma'am. And getting it set up. As soon as I get that vehicle set up, I'll be calling dispatch and getting it run. So I got to sell my pickup truck, and now I'm going to be looking at some other types of vehicles. At first I was looking at these old Hondas manual stick shifts, but realized up there some of the guys that had done this before with other companies and are doing it with other companies are actually driving some automatics, which are give you an example. One guy was driving a Jeep Liberty, and that Jeep Liberty is an automatic.
Warning, sharp curve ahead.
Yes, ma'am. I heard you. That Jeep Liberty is an automatic 4-wheel drive. He leaves the transmission in gear, but takes the 4-wheel drive and puts it into neutral. Don't ask me the mechanics of it, that's all I know. And with doing that, he can pull it flat. He can flat pull it. Now, what he's losing with that
Speed
Jeep Liberty...
warning.
Yes, ma'am, I'm supposed to slow down here, okay. He loses, of course, some gas mileage with his vehicle, but he gains a bigger vehicle, so it's easier to carry his stuff, tools and whatnot, and the hitch equipment things, and it gives him a bit bigger vehicle that he can go in there and drop down the seat and, you know, sleep more comfortably if he has to, if that's what he chooses to do. So I'm gonna look at those as an alternative. Probably looking at out of my price range at this point, because I also have to get the equipment to tow it. The towing base plate and tow bar and the hitch and the hookups and all the electrical and stuff there. So I'm looking at probably anywhere from $700 to $1,000 to get all that equipment. So, but I kind of know what direction I want to go there, and so I'm going to sink some money into that rather than sinking it all into a nicer car that I'm going to beat up anyway. I just want to make sure I get something that runs decent and doesn't kill my back when I'm driving in it. Alright, I'm at 13 minutes now. So there's where I stand right now. There I was, and here I am. So, on my way home for the weekend, happy with orientation, pleased with what I've learned so far with the company and the people and the opportunity. Got educated some more by some of the folks that are already in the business that were up there doing it. That's always a good thing. And I'm on my way home. Monday I'll go drug test for the second company and then figure out what orientation involves for them and start getting the vehicle stuff ready. So anyway, we'll post these two videos when I get home, and probably tomorrow while the football games are on. Y'all have a great weekend, be safe, and we'll talk to you next week sometime.